Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where we unpack the latest twists and turns shaping South Africa's political future. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below with your thoughts on what's really happening in the townships. Now, let's dive into one of the most significant political shifts we've seen in Gauteng recently, the Ward 35 by-election in Emfuleni, which may seem local, but carries national implications. The African National Congress, ANC, has barely managed to hold on to Ward 35 in the Emfuleni Local Municipality, a community that includes parts of Sebokeng Units 11, 12, and 13. Now, if you're thinking, what's the big deal? Here's why this result matters. The ANC's vote share plummeted from a solid 54% in 2021 to just 38% in this week's vote. That's a 16-point drop, a steep decline that tells a much bigger story about where the ANC stands with ordinary South Africans. This wasn't just a routine local vote. This by-election acted as a political stress test, a pulse check for the ANC in one of its former strongholds. And the results are raising red flags inside Luthuli House. But here's the shocker: uMkhonto weSizwe, MK, the new political outfit backed by former President Jacob Zuma, came in strong with 21%, capturing second place in its very first showing in this ward. That's a powerful debut. What we're seeing here is a realignment of loyalties, especially among voters who once firmly backed the ANC or the EFF. Speaking of the EFF, their performance was nothing short of a disaster. In 2021, the Red Berets captured a respectable 22% in Ward 35. But this time around? Just 8%. That's a massive drop, and it suggests that voters who are frustrated with the ANC aren't necessarily defaulting to Julius Malima's movement anymore. Instead, MK is increasingly becoming the protest vote of choice. Now let's look at the broader numbers. The Democratic Alliance, DA, came in at 12%, a slight drop from its previous 14%. The Patriotic Alliance, PA, also secured 12%, holding firm. Meanwhile, DTAU, a relatively minor player, made a surprising entrance with 6%, while the Pan-Africanist Congress, PAC, held steady at 2%. Other parties, like SEFM, SACO, and AAIC, failed to crack the 1% mark. Voter turnout: just 37%. Down from 43% in 2021. That means more than 6 in 10 registered voters stayed home. And that should terrify every party. It's a sign of political fatigue, disillusionment, and perhaps even despair. People are checking out of the system, and when voters stop believing that change is possible at the ballot box, we enter very dangerous territory. Now let's dig into the why. Analysts say this ANC decline can't be explained by a single factor. It's a perfect storm: persistent failures in service delivery, ongoing internal divisions, and a growing sense that the party has become detached from the grassroots. Load shedding, water shortages, potholes, collapsing infrastructure, these aren't abstract policy issues for the people of Sebokeng. They're everyday realities. And they're voting accordingly. And then there's MK, the wild card. Jacob Zuma's name still carries serious weight in many townships. His populist messaging, his anti-establishment tone, and his ability to tap into the pain of the marginalized have turned MK into a force that even the ANC can't ignore anymore. This isn't just a protest party. MK is becoming a credible alternative in places the ANC once considered untouchable. Political analyst Tumelo Sithole put it bluntly: this was once a solid ANC ward, and now they barely make it past a third of the vote. The electorate is sending a clear message. That message? We want change, and we're tired of broken promises. But it's not just the ANC that should be worried. The EFF's plunge from 22% to 8% shows that their revolutionary rhetoric is losing traction too. For a party that once presented itself as the future of South African politics, this result is sobering. The question is, can they recover in time for the 2026 local elections? And make no mistake, those elections are coming fast. The results of this by-election suggest that the political terrain in Gauteng is shifting under our feet. Townships like Gauteng are now political battlegrounds, contested, unpredictable, and volatile. Let's also take a moment to acknowledge the Independent Electoral Commission, IEC, which confirmed that the vote went off without incident. That's important. In a country where tensions can sometimes spill over, the peaceful conduct of this election deserves recognition. But peace at the polls doesn't mean peace in the streets. The deepening political fragmentation reflected in these results mirrors broader frustrations about corruption, poverty, unemployment, and the sheer sense that no party has truly delivered for the majority of South Africans. So what happens next? The ANC will likely try to frame this narrow victory as proof that it still has a mandate. But make no mistake, this is not a win, it's a warning. A warning that its support is bleeding, not just to the usual opposition suspects, but to internal challengers like MK, who now threaten to split the movement from within. Meanwhile, MK will seize on this momentum. You can expect to see the party increase its visibility across Sedibeng and other parts of Gauteng in the months ahead. Ward 35 was their proving ground, and they passed the test. The DA and PA will probably try to consolidate their base, but the data shows they've hit a ceiling in communities like Gauteng, where identity politics, class issues, and revolutionary legacy still dominate voter sentiment. And what about the EFF? Their path forward is uncertain. Do they double down on radicalism, or try to rebrand as more pragmatic and service-oriented? One thing's for sure, they've got some soul-searching to do. In the end, this by-election was about far more than a single ward. It was a microcosm of the national mood, a barometer of where the winds of change are blowing. And right now, those winds are howling through Gauteng with force. If you found this analysis helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. What do you think of MK's rise? Can the ANC recover before 2026? Or are we witnessing the beginning of a new political era? Thanks for watching, and as always, see you next time.